This next topic is kind of crazy.
You had an interesting take. Look, Lamar Jackson has taken the NFL by storm. Both you and I do have him as the front runner for the MVP right now. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens are on fire. I think it's, 8 straight now that they've won.
Yep.
And they look like the best team in the NFL right now. He's been great. And he's been running the football more than any quarterback in history. And he is like 63 yards away
he's gonna break Vic's
from
record.
breaking Michael Vick's record. He's got 4 games left.
Yep.
So he's obviously going to probably break that next week or this weekend. And he's just been fantastic. You have an interesting take, and I'm just going to introduce it and let you roll because it's interesting.
So
could Tim Tebow have done what Lamar Jackson's doing? Go ahead.
So, Chris, smart organizations will build around someone's skill set. You are an NBA insider. You know everybody. Chris, going to be our NBA guy. J-Mac, I'm a high-energy guy. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm an outsider. Build around that. You look at what the Baltimore Ravens have done with Lamar Jackson is genius. This kid's a guy who came out, he can't throw. I don't want him. He falls to 32 in the first round. What do the Ravens say? We got a drop-back guy in Joe Flacco. Let's bundle up that offense, toss it out the window. Let's build something for our guy. Okay? Smart teams do smart things. The Rams. Jeff Fisher tried to put Jared Goff, right? A circle in a square. And Jared Goff was a bust as a rookie. 0 TDs, 7 interceptions. What a failure. In comes McVay, builds around him. You see this throughout the league. I mean, anywhere you look, the smart teams are building around the skill set of their guys.
Let me just say this quickly. I don't want to get in your way, but Lamar Jackson, there have been quarterbacks. Now, maybe nobody ran quite as well as him, although you certainly could argue Vic.
Yep.
But Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham,
yeah.
To a lesser degree, Donovan McNabb, Cam Newton, Donovan McNabb, Steve McNair to some degree.
McNair.
Like you've had, even in Eric Couch, who, everybody thinks the black quarterback, he's a white quarterback out of Nebraska who was tremendous. They didn't even give him a chance to play quarterback in the NFL. So my point is that these quarterbacks, the predecessors to Lamar Jackson, all of the teams did the opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even though they would let the guy run some, RG3, it was all about changing him.
Yeah. That's the wrong way to go,
but
right?
Look, the conventional wisdom has always been if you run too much as a quarterback, you're going to get hurt.
And RG3, that's what happened. He didn't know how to slide.
Cam Newton, he's 30 years old. Everybody throws that out like he's still young, but his body is banged up and he's twice as big as Lamar Jackson.
Lamar's running between the tackles. He's running inside a lot and not getting hurt.
So how long is he going to last?
Well, we'll find that out.
Because it doesn't have to be, J-Mac, one shot that injures him. It can be just overtime, all of the hits coming together, and now that 4.3 40 is a 4.5.
Yeah, and he's
and that's all you need at a world-class level. That's all you need for him not to be the same guy. So he's smart in that he's learning how to throw.
What's interesting about Tebow, Chris, is he had a thick body. He was built like, I think, 230, 235. He's a big boy.
Doubt.
And I know he didn't have the accuracy passing, but if you go back to his Florida days with Urban Meyer, guy we talked about last time.
His numbers were actually better than
they
Lamar's
were great.
in college.
And again, I've looked up the Tebow. And I know there's a lot of Tebow haters out there. Fine, I get it. He's too religious. I'm religious myself, whatever.
He's my man. I like Tebow.
Tim Tebow in Denver, when he got them to the playoffs, completed 46% of his passes. That's not good. That's awful. That's below 50%. That being said, Lamar last year didn't have great numbers passing.
58, though,
yeah,
right?
as a rookie, yep.
I mean, Lamar Jackson last year, I'm not totally poo-pooing what you're saying, but Lamar Jackson last year looked like Joe Montana compared to Tebow.
Well, not in the playoff game against the Chargers.
But Tebow was atrocious going to football.
But again, it was almost, I know it's only this was 8 years ago, and it feels like a different era. I mean, Pat Mahomes playing football at quarterback right now looks like nothing we saw 10 years ago, pretty much. Mahomes is unbelievably electric. Another guy, they built around him, Andy Reid. I just wonder, and I'm not certain, but if you had the right coach willing to say, that's our guy. Now, John Elway and the Broncos said, we're getting Peyton Manning, and you can't fault them for that. But nobody else out there said, we're going to build around Tebow. Nobody gave him a chance. And I kind of wonder what might have been. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, 58% last year. Tebow was 46 in the year he got to the playoffs.
Well,
one thing, let me add one thing about the Ravens that's interesting is the first time teams see Lamar Jackson, there is a shock to the culture.
Right.
Whoa, what's going on here? Chargers saw him a second time last year, totally shut him down. The Patriots will see Lamar Jackson in the playoffs.
Presumably.
If Belichick is able to shut him down, are we going to just recycle this? Does it work? Can he survive? Because you know where that's headed. It's all sunshine and roses now, Chris.
No, I to your point, I do agree. Because one reason I didn't think it would work this year is because the one team, the Chargers, that saw him twice last year totally shut him down. He ran roughshod over them the first meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And then they shut him down in the playoffs. And I thought all the teams will have the tape on him. They'll see what the Chargers did, and they'll shut him down. What Lamar did was improve dramatically as a passer.
Yes.
And that changed everything.
But also, that's not just, he can't just get better as a passer. They add Hollywood Brown in the draft.
Right.
Right? They added another tight end behind Andrews.
Mark Ingram has helped.
Mark Ingram is huge.
Back.
But also, the passes he's making, they're short, and the guys are
It's not
open
the most
all the time.
complex scheme.
Yeah, he's
passing.
not throwing 15 deep passes a game.
Right.
It's smart offense. And listen, the smart organizations do that, Chris.
To your Tebow point, it's interesting. I actually think the bigger question is, what about RG3? If somebody had built around him. What about, we saw Jim Harbaugh kind of did it with Kaepernick.
Yes, there you go.
Went to
Perfect.
the Super Bowl.
And who was running that show, the offensive coordinator?
Greg Roman, right.
Who's running the, great point.
What about Randall Cunningham, who already had a really nice career, but what if they had just let him be him? Donovan McNabb, Cam Newton, so Vince Young. Vince Young did win games. Tebow.
Vince Young had some off-field stuff that was.
Right.
Yeah.
Tebow. Look, he was 7-4 as a starter his second year.
Got to the playoffs.
So he did win. He just threw the ball so poorly. So poor. Like, it wasn't. And again, Lamar improved dramatically. Ephraim Salam, who was hosting with me the last 2 days, he was in Minnesota when Dante Culpepper was there. He said when he first got there, he was shocked they even drafted him. He looked so bad passing the ball. And then, of course, he went on to have a couple great seasons.
Was he the MVP or close to it?
He was in the running. He might have been
35 TD. He had one awesome
when he
year
had Randy Moss and Chris Carter. He was great. So you can improve, but we didn't really see that with Tebow. I would lean toward no, but it's an interesting point. Can you just be, because with Tebow, you would have basically had to be a straight running attack with your quarterback.
Yeah.
And he was much bigger than Lamar, so maybe he could have gotten away with it for a few seasons. Yeah. But I think just like we see running backs break down, if you start having like these quarterbacks run like this, then they're probably not going to last very long. And Lamar, again, he's improving as a passer. I think they feel that in Baltimore. Like, they're like, okay, you're going to be able to do this for a few years, but if you keep improving as a passer, when your speed declines, you'll still be able to be a very good quarterback because now you've become a great passer. I to your point about the Belichick in the playoffs, I agree. I do think, let's see how these playoffs play out. And then I think also, J-Mac, we have to see how next year's regular season plays out. Let's say the Ravens do get beat in the playoffs, the AFC playoffs.
Oh, by the way, I have them.
Lamar
you have them going to the Super Bowl, or you got Patriots still?
Well, my preseason pick was the Chiefs.
Still
right
alive.
now, I'll wait till the end of the season to make my new pick, but right now I probably would say the Ravens. But if Lamar, maybe next year, if he does this next year, after teams have seen him for a lot of time now, a lot of tape on him, then I think the game will change and you'll see more of this. If not, then it could be a flash in the pan and we get back to what we used to see.
Deshaun Watson in Houston, right? He was electric as a rookie. Then he had the torn ACL.
Right.
And, he doesn't look like he wants to run nearly as much as Lamar. Now, I think he's a much better passer.
He's right in between Mahomes and Jackson, I think.
Right. I do think I am bullish on Deshaun Watson.
He's great, but he's been hurt a lot, to your point.
He has, and I will say this. When he was at Clemson, he was so awesome. When you can go toe-to-toe with Nick Saban and that Alabama, when the defense was good, I love Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson probably has a longer shelf life in the NFL than Lamar Jackson. just because he's not running as much anymore.
No, I would tend to agree. Again, I look at Cam Newton, 30 years old, and people say, well, he's only 30. Yeah, but he is so banged up. And again, he's twice as big as Lamar Jackson.
Did you see the news? Foot surgery for Cam?
Yeah.
So that'll be 3 of the last 4 off seasons he'll have surgery. 2 shoulder and 1 foot. And he's only 31 in like May. Or it's 31 in a few months.
Again, twice as big as Lamar.
I think it's over for. Is it over for Cam? Like if you're the Bears.
You got to give him one more shot. I'd give him one more shot. If he's healthy next year, I don't know if Carolina's going to bring him back.
Well, they already fired their coach.
Right, we'll see what the new coach does.
Yeah.
If I'm the Bears and I could get him, I mean, that contract's cheap for 1 year.
Yeah, but do we know Cam is going to be cool with going into next season with no future contract with all these injuries?
He may not have a choice.
Well, what if they say, hey, you play or we cut you, and he says, I'll cut me. His agent goes and finds the Bears or the Chargers.
I would not give him big money now. I'd have to see him first.
Bengals.
For half a
Cam
season
Newton,
or
I will say
season.
this. He was the face of the Panthers for better part of a decade.
Right.
He's going to go somewhere, and he has so many fans everywhere. People will gravitate toward him because of the personality. I think he could be the face of
a... they're losing, like if you said the Bengals, if he goes there, they're going to be horrible.
They're already going to be horrible.
Right. So,
but guess what happens if you're horrible?
Not gonna help. It'll be a buzz.
Wait. This is good.
And initially, people, you may see a boost in season tickets, but after you're 0-4, 1-5, or whatever, it's going to die down.
So you take Chase Young first if you're the Bengals, then you sign Cam Newton, and guess what? If he flops and stinks, you know what? Oh, we'll just draft Trevor Lawrence of Clemson next year, number 1 overall.
If I'm Cam, I'm trying to go anywhere other
where
than
you can
Cincinnati.
win. Yeah, well.
Hey, it's the Odd Couple. I'm Chris. He is Rob. And we want to encourage all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. You know, you can listen to us on the radio, and now you can watch us as well, and it's fun.
No question about it. And remember, all